Hello YouTube, welcome back to the Basement Card Collector. Today's video will be a video response for a channel called the Autograph Fisherman. John, he's from Canada. He's been on YouTube since 2016. I'm relatively new to his channel, but I came across it the other day, I think after watching someone else's channel, and they'd mentioned that he was doing a video response. I do like doing these every now and then. It's fun to tell you a story of why you collect, or show your favorite rookie cards, show your Hall of Fame autographs, anything you would like. Well, his is very simple. He asked us to share 3 channels that we are watching, loving, have been watching, and then talk about the first set that you seriously collected that kind of got you into the hobby itself, into just collecting. And today, I'd like to start off with the 3 channel shoutouts. First one for me, I actually was watching Mr. Pepino Man before I made a channel, and he was one of those first that I watched before. I thought I just loved watching it. He made me laugh. He had some really cool cards, and so he is over 1,000 subscribers now. He is big time in this community. Just seems like a really normal dude, and I think that's super cool. It sounds like he has a really cool job. I think he does grounds crew work for USC out in LA. He also works at Dodger Stadium, does some of the grounds crew work there. So he just has kind of an up close and personal connection to some of these famous, baseball players and Dodgers specifically. But if you haven't checked him out, I'm sure you have, but he's one of the ones I love watching. Pepino Man, check him out. I'll leave a link to his channel too. Channel number 2 for me, it's actually a Chris and Chris collecting cards, and he and his family make videos of TTM returns. I really dig his channel because of the custom cards that he makes. He kind of showed me how, or told me how, what app he uses. He gets some really cool responses from folks, athletes and celebrities, and I've been watching him now for just for a long time also. It's cool to hear his wife is in the background. His kids are now participating. His son reads where the letters are from. It's a really cool channel to watch, and I really like those guys over at Chris and Chris Collecting Cards. Check them out if you have not. And my 3rd channel, which is probably one of the newer channels that I've come across, and I've gone back and watched all of their videos, and I am not up to date on the newest ones, but I've gone back and watched the old ones up to the new ones. It's called Zach and Porter. Really cool father-son channel where dad, Zach, shows some of the cards from his past and some of the new things that he's buying, along with Porter, who is his son, who is getting into collecting and learning a lot, and it's really cool to hear them go back and forth. They are White Sox fans, so you got to give them a little credit there, but they're not all bad, okay? They're a really cool channel. I'm just kidding, of course. Check them out. They love the Bears and the White Sox, and it's just a really cool channel listening to the two go back and forth. And so if you haven't given them a look, they're a newer channel, but I don't miss a video that they make. So go give them a look too. I'll put their link and the other links under also. Now, if you see my story, my first set that I really collected, I remember buying, were the 1989 Topps, and I've actually sent these 2 out TTM with the Goose Gossage and Andre Dawson to get those back. I watched a lot of baseball in the 89-90 season, and so at the tail end of getting the cards for the 89 Topps, I got some. I had as many as I got, really, and I did put them into the players that I collect and so on. But the first year that I really bought a ton of things were 1990. The very hard to find, very short printed 1990 cards, and that goes for 1990 Topps, Donruss, Fleer, Score, Upper Deck, you name it. I even bought a little bit of the Bowman just because I felt like I had to buy those too. So I have a Juan Gonzalez here. I sent that also out TTM. That came back. I thought that was super cool. And so the 1990 Donruss, and so I just pulled one out here. Here's a good old Charlie Huff knuckleballer. That red set, I bought millions of these things. The all red, and like I said, when I was first starting, I thought, baseball cards are all red with all this spray paint on it, and really hard to read cursive writing. I'm like 10 years old. I barely know cursive, if I even did at all. But I have to believe that helped me learn cursive a little bit, because I loved these red cards. I loved, well, just getting cards, and they were about 50 cents a pack. I mean, you couldn't go wrong. And so we just bought them and bought them and bought them and just kept stacking them up. And eventually I realized I had a whole row or two in a 5,000 count box. I thought, I think I'm going to build a set. I've never done that before. I'm new to this thing. It's like these cards have a number on the back. I think I'm going to put them in order. Well, back in 1990, when that was new and I couldn't get enough of these things, check out my official 1990 checklist. From those days, this paper itself is probably, you know, close to that long ago. 1990, this paper has survived. You can see what I did. Even my writing, I feel like this Mike Dyer was the last card I needed. I do remember that purple number 642. And then I went back, as I was older, I went back and reorganized and kind of rechecked them, I guess, if that's a word. I went back through and I had a bent Scott Bankhead and a bent Eric Davis All-Star. Super hard to find. Here I have a Bo Diamond King that's bent. The Grand Slammers 1 through 12 check. Even the Spawn puzzle complete. And this is my little, I should have wrote the date on there just to be cool, but 715 cards as a 1990 version of the Basement Card Collector. That's a lot of cards. And this is actually the set. All that pretty orange red. Here's the cool Warren Spawn card. I remember that. I'm just super pumped up to get that little mini version of it. And then there's the actual, you know, the big cards. But just a really, let's just pull some out and just kind of thumb through here. If you're unfamiliar with this 1990 Donruss set, they're super hard to find. Very rare. Joe Ursulak. I mean, look at that cursive. And if you find any of these blogs, Bobby Bonilla, he hadn't signed that big contract yet to celebrate Bobby Bonilla Day in this card, but he was a stud, though. Could hit it. Bobby Witt, not too bad. Now he's more famous probably for being Bobby Witt, you know, the dad of Bobby Witt Jr., who was tearing up the AL, maybe Rookie of the Year in the AL. And Ivan Calderon with those super old school White Sox numbers on the pants. So anyway, for the Autograph Fisherman, this is what it is. How about this super cool card to end it with? This is my non-bent version, so I could cross off that little card note on my checklist over here. Bo Diamond King bent. We're going to call that a victory. We can cross that off. And so there you go for the Autograph Fisherman. John, up in Canada. Give his channel a look. I will put his link down there as well. Just some really cool cards that I haven't dug out or talked about or even thought about in a long time. So 1990 Donruss for me. I have the set now. It's super cool. It's just one of those sets that just kind of started it. It might be worth $4 complete today. I'm not quite sure, but thank you to John for putting on the contest. Again, those three channels, Zach and Porter, Pepino Man, and Chris collecting cards. All great channels. Give them a look, and I'll leave their link. I'll leave links to in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.